This week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed. That's get-blitz.com. Get Blitz Let's Aid is nano-infused THC syrup, and it is a premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. And you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off. Head to get-blitz.com, promo code RVD, 15% off. It's one of a kind, baby.
Oh, what's up? It's Sunday night. It is One of a Kind with RVD. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of several outlets. But guess who is here on a Sunday night? A special night of this recording. I'm going to give you a couple seconds. We'll do 1, 2. Hey.
It's Lovey.
Lovey. It's One of a Kind with Lovey. That's who it is. If you guess Lovey, guys, you get. I'll send you.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, Barb.
A little scared. Barb got scared. She got a little scared.
Where's Lovey?
Lovey's
too quick. Lovey's too quick. She wants to play fetch.
Oh jeez.
Lovey, I'm sorry, Barbara. Did I hurt your hand?
Oh, she's okay. She's okay. She's giving you love too, back.
No, Daddy would never hurt you on purpose, ever. Lovey, the good people want to see you.
Look at Lovey. Yeah, it's a Lovey.
Hey.
You guys didn't know, though, this is Rob Van Dam, and it's One of a Kind with RVD. So, hello, we're live. We had some complications on Friday. My brother was getting ready for the very first match, and I was over at his place for Friday night, or was playing too, and so we had to reschedule. And Sunday night was the night. And Rob was a busy man last week.
Wait, so this is your brother that does the podcasting?
Yeah, the Jake the Snake, and
he had his first match.
Yeah. He came out. He fought Sam Handyman at IWC in a household rules match or something like that. Handyman rules, and so there was some weapons used: drywall, a yardstick, a toilet seat.
Well, as everyone's first match should be consistent, right? Of course.
Yes, and he lost, unfortunately. Hey, he was a little arrogant, and it kind of bit him. It paid him back. Ted DiBiase gave him his loaded glove that he used to have, and Marcus tried to use it, but that didn't help him.
If that didn't win the match for him, probably nothing will. But
no. So, yeah, he's got a little bit.
Remember my first match: the toilet seat, the fire extinguisher, the
light tubes,
the garden hoe.
The garden hoe. Yeah, that's right. The weed killer, all that stuff. Yeah, it was fun though. He did a really good job. Tommy Dreamer's backstage. He gave him some good feedback and everything like that. And actually, Tommy Dreamer tagged with your old partner from IWC too, Channing Decker. They were the tag team champs, so they main evented there. So.
Well, Channing Decker, one of the biggest stars to have not been featured that I know of on television.
Yeah, and he's super talented too. He's super talented. Yeah. He's got
a great self-promoter, and I see on Instagram like he does some of the dark side of the ring. Like sometimes he does the stand-ins for the wrestlers, you know.
Oh, did
a lot of times those are pretty good. Like you see silhouettes or whatever, and you're like, man, that looks just like him.
Yeah, it does.
He's one of those dudes too.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he did that. That's pretty sweet.
Well, it's all up in Canada, eh?
Hey, I know. It was so funny because like when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's the local area guy, like from either maybe like Pittsburgh or Cleveland. And then I was hearing him talk to Tommy Dreamer, and he's had such a like the Montreal, almost like the Montreal or French Canadian accent kind of going on.
Yeah. Yep. I was telling him about Only Wrestlers a long time ago, so it's something he could use to promote his wrestling shows and companies and himself as well.
Absolutely. I was telling some of the wrestlers there too about Only Wrestlers. I was like, hey, you should sign up and try to get some your name out there a little
What's
bit.
your brother's match?
Yeah, watch your brother's match. I did. It was great. And yeah, that's the thing too. Is yeah, he did a really good job. I was really happy.
You're proud to be his brother?
I am proud to be.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. It made me feel pretty good because we used to roughhouse all the time and wrestle in the house and hit each other with tray tables and everything like that. So,
you know the city of brotherly love,
Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
That's next week, or I guess this week.
Sure. Yeah, this week, in a few days.
Just a few days. Guys, we're live, so if you have any questions, feel free to use the super chat. We're live on Rob's YouTube channel, and we're live on rvdtv.com. You can use the super chat on rvdtv.com. And then, yeah.
Whoa, Jesus Christ, that hours.
You all right?
Yeah.
Lined up next to you.
Someone left it here.
That's funny.
Someone fetched it and said it on me.
Oh, they brought it back.
Yeah, we do that all the time. We step on it, and it fucking like gives us a little mini heart attack.
We have, and it's always somewhere.
Yeah.
they strategically
different rooms because they carry it around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. They strategically plan it so you'll step on it and scare you.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Hey, Bobby.
But yeah, everybody, if you aren't familiar, Only Wrestlers is a new platform you can check out that Rob and Katie launched. And last month, I believe it officially launched. And then so they've been getting new members, and a lot of people have been signing up from all across the world.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah, it's growing and growing. It's exciting. And so letting it do its thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you guys
building up a big fan base, and then now my partners want to start the next phase where they start voting on stuff, which will increasingly grow in importance and value of as far as their vote on what it does to move the OWA forward. So that's pretty cool. We're about there, but still. Every time we look, there's more wrestlers and more followers, and we're pretty stoked. And
there's a stories element now too. People can do stories on there.
We have stories, which is cool. You got to upload it from your photos on your phone, though. You know, you got to do a video and then upload it. It'd be more convenient if it was a direct story right on. So that's what I want to do. So you could just add to it throughout the day, you know, and be like, hey, I'm at this diner. Look, I'm hey, RVD at a diner. Look, you know, look, I'm eating pancakes. But yeah, but we did just get the stories and a couple of bugs to work out there, and the community chat room is coming, so that's when everyone's going to be able to actually talk with each other and stuff, and then that's going to be a huge moment of growth.
Heck yeah. Changing the game here. Changing the game. You guys can join in right now. Go to onlywrestlers.com, sign up, check out all the other talent that are on there. There's Sabu. There's so many different ones that you can check out. Violent J is on there from ICP. So lots of cool names and up and coming names too. So
and you know, like so a lot of times people say, you know, what's on there or what's the difference, you know, between like that and Instagram or the other social media outlets, and you know, like for everybody they could have something different that they want to share, but the exclusivity is where the value is at. Like obviously with the stories, if I can update it throughout the day, I'm taking you with me on my days. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to do ultimately when get all the technology worked out the way I need it. So I don't have to learn anything new. It could just learn me. But what I was going to say about that is, as far as exclusivity goes, you know, the last week or so, there's several things that I say to my Only Wrestlers followers that I wouldn't say public. And I even say on there, if this starts getting out, if they start saying as reported on RVD's Only Wrestling profile, you're going to break our trust. And I'm not going to be sharing quite as much. But, going through last week's adventures from Canada to Orlando and then off to Philly next week. And, as far as the behind the scenes exclusive info there, it's kind of interesting, I would think.
Ooh, so there you go. Yeah, that's the neat thing about it is like a lot of people do that to it brings people in and you can give a little insight. It's the extra
stuff that I don't want even out, but, for my intimate gathering of supporters that follow me and watch my videos at Only Wrestlers. I mean, hell, you got to trust somebody.
That's it. You gotta, right?
Mm-hmm. You look like a cop today, by the way.
Do I look like? I've been getting that with the mustache a lot.
Yeah, mustache and the hat.
Mustache and the hat.
Do you have an ID?
Do you have
an ID?
No. Are you a narc? I'm a narc.
Cool.
Yeah. So sign up onlywrestlers.com. Check it out. Really, really cool stuff. More things to come on that. Very, very cool.
What's up, guys? This week on One of a Kind with RVD, I'm happy to present to you one of our favorite sponsors, and that is Mando. Mando is awesome. I'm not just saying that either because they sent us a whole new nice starter pack that I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit. I'm saying because I legitimately love this product. It's so cool. The starter pack that I got, I loved it. It was Mount Fuji themed, and that's my all-time favorite that we have. The scent is awesome. What's neat about Mando is you're so used to smelling all these deodorants and these guys trying too hard with these strong deodorant smells, and it hits you like a punch in the face, But I like Mando because it's a little bit more low-key, but it smells great. You don't feel like you're overpowering and taking over the room with your scent, but you smell great and you feel confident. And I can't speak highly enough of what Mando, the products that they have. They have the deodorant, they have the body wash, they have the dude wipes, which the dude wipes are awesome. I ran out of them very quickly, and I already want some more. But my favorite I got to go with is the deodorant. And you can rub that on anywhere. So, but I've just used it on my pits and the usual areas, so you can't beat it. Yes, it's great stuff. And I do have to say, too, Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers, like me. It comes with solid stick deodorant. That's what I like. The Mount Fuji, the cream tube deodorant. I haven't even tried that yet because I want to hold on to some of this stuff. 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. I also did get, too, that something I loved, and that ran out really quickly, too, was just their soap. Just their regular bar of soap was awesome. And that was Mount Fuji as well. And man, I was so bummed when I ran out of that too. But as a special offer for our listeners, new customers can get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack use. So you can just use code RVD at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support all our show and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Promo code RVD.
Hey, Rob, did we talk about this last week? Manny just chimed in with this. What's RVD think about the Raven documentary? Did we talk about that last week? I'm trying to think if we did or not.
I don't think we did.
Did you see the trailer or anything?
Yeah, I think I retweeted it and then didn't really watch it that good. Mm-hmm. I just retweeted it anyway, and I rewatched it today.
Oh, nice!
Popped up on YouTube, and me and Katie watched it. It looks really good, and I'm not just saying that because Rob Van Dam's in it. It does look really good, and that's cool. A story that's not told a lot. And a very interesting character. So I think that hopefully it'll do really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Raven's such a unique guy and very smart. I remember he was on Win Ben Finds Money. Oh, it's a squeak toy.
Lovey brought it to me.
She brought it back for you.
It's a loud toy.
I think it adds good. It's good Foley sound effects, I think. So, yeah, no, I'm excited to see it. And Raven's such a fascinating character, and I loved his the what he kind of set in the '90s. Like, was that kind of grungy kind of vibe, that loner vibe? It really set up a kind of a neat new heel, but it was also like likable in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, the fans, ECW fans, really liked him when I first got there in '96, and I didn't really get it. I just knew that he was really over, and felt like sometimes I just felt like, wow, this is when I was brand new. I felt like this is his house.
Yeah.
And I never had been around grunge either, so that was my introduction to. Well, she's so fast. That was my introduction to the whole that music, and then the whole attire, the clothes that they're wearing, and how they represent, like with their looks and their attitude and everything. I'd never been around that, and it was like Raven was that for me, like the first time seeing that. And I remember one of the first weeks that I was in ECW was like really, pretty new still. And I remember we went to a nightclub in Philadelphia, and it was like, wow, there's like a bunch of people like Raven, like it was all grungy people. And I was just like, that must be what people in this part of the country, look like and do, because I come at that time from Georgia, and it was all redneck, USA, come on, everybody.
Come on now.
Come on. And it was total different style with the music and everything, their hair. But I remember going to the nightclub, and Pitbull Anthony, I think the Pitbulls worked at that club. That's the impression I got, was that they worked there. I think it was a night off for them. I'm not even sure about that, but Raven seemed to know a lot of people there as well. Like they seemed like locals. They were really over in that particular nightclub. And that's what when I think of my first time seeing the whole, feeling that grunge vibe, that was it.
Yeah. I wonder what bar that was. I wonder if where that was at, or the nightclub, if it was in South.
I really don't remember much about it. I just remember it seemed dark. I don't know. It's so long ago.
That's a while, man. Yeah, Philly's an interesting city. I sure like it. I lived there 5 years, and it was nice. And I do miss. I could see myself moving back there at some point. I think actually, it's Philly, so we'll have to see that. But yeah, this last week though, you were at NXT in Orlando, and you were hanging out with Ava Raine before that, and then afterwards, you got a little involved with Wes Lee and Javon Evans a little bit. Talk about your experience down there, Rob. How was it being? Was that your first time at the Capitol Wrestling Center, like when it's been updated like that, or?
Well, I mean, I've been there twice before, and it was a long time ago, 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Matter of fact, but it did look a little different. They definitely had moved some stuff around, and if they had that many warehouses, then I didn't realize it before, that they got a lot of that is theirs, and they have their stuff there. And but it was really cool. It was just a good experience. Everybody was grateful. Everyone's happy and giving the legends a lot of love. So Nothing terribly exciting, but also seen a lot of my peers as well, you know. And Bubba Ray Dudley, he was standing in the ring when I walked in one time to that area.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking from behind, and I even had to ask Katie. I said, "That's Bubba, right?" Then I slid in behind him to surprise him, and his calves almost exploded in my face. I texted him and told him that. But his calves were huge and veins popping out, and fucking looks like he's been doing some toe raises. So good job, Bubba. Yeah. You know, saw Shawn Michaels, saw Terry Taylor.
William Regal? Did you see him?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, and maybe even another person. But you know, even like the crew guys, you know, like camera guys and stuff, like it's sometimes you just look up, or I shouldn't say you, but that's what kids do nowadays to express themselves. It's projecting. But I would look up and just like, damn, I know that face, you know, happy to see the camera guy. This dude, like, I don't even know where I know those guys from, like which companies and stuff. It's just that I've seen them for so many years. And it was like that in AEW as well. You know, a lot of people that were in TNA or WWE seem to work there behind the scenes in the actual equipment and that part of the show. And it's cool, you know, to see that people can have careers in the industry behind the camera like that, and that their work can lead towards more work, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like some steady stuff. They build up a resume, and hey, there it is. Like, and they make relationships and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's kind of a neat thing too. It's even on a smaller scale when I go to like shows and stuff like that. I'll see familiar faces all the time that are like working on the production or doing certain things. It's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to be here. That kind of thing. It's neat. It's definitely a neat part of it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. How was it that interact with like Ava Rain, the Rock's daughter, and all that stuff? Was that how was she to kind of be on the same camera with and all that stuff?
Well, I had to yell at her a couple of times, you know, to get her to really start paying. I'm just joking. She was cool. Everybody was cool. You know, like I was just kind of like an extra, just popping in and being me, and they were all there learning and doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say you mentioned when you went to be with Katie and stuff like that on SmackDown, you said that there was such a new energy there and a good vibe. Did that kind of convey in NXT too? Did you have that kind of vibe for it as well? Like how the feel of the operation is, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, it seemed like it. For the most part, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really like those conversations. It's really about the substance of wrestling, and thankfully, yes, that's what NXT and hopefully all the products of WWE will contain in their foundation. Because without it, man, it gets to be well, everything but wrestling, you know. You know, that's like having all the extra toppings on your ice cream with no ice cream. You're not gonna eat all those cherries and nuts and sit in a fucking bowl, right? Yeah. But I don't know. It's just it's it's like that when it gets away from the wrestling, and instead we'll just do garbage matches and grab each other and both jump, and you know, I think maybe the different companies will separate in the styles that they do, And that doesn't sound like that bad of an idea.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, there's I guess that would leads me into the other thing I had typed out for us was that whole WEID thing. Did you hear about that?
I heard about it. I don't know that much about it. I forgot to look it up. But is that the WWE is working with independent groups?
Right? Independent groups like certain schools and stuff like that for the starting point of it all. Here, I pulled up a little bit of the information on there. Okay, so this is what it says. WWE Independent Development is designed to provide independent wrestlers a clear pathway to a potential career in WWE. Following the success of WWE's NIL program, WEID has been constructed to support independent wrestling prospects and schools with world-class training, development, and mentorship, in turn raising the profile of and strengthening the independent wrestling ecosystem. WWE will provide the most prominent independent wrestling schools in the U.S. with the WEID official designation, with the goal of guiding new trainees and existing talent at these select institutions with enhanced and developmental opportunities. And then it says WEID will identify top independent wrestling prospects with an official WEID prospect designation to support their developmental journey. WEID will give fans the opportunity to follow the paths of these standout prospects on the independent wrestling scene through curated behind-the-scenes content, as well as highlights and matches showcased across WWE's social platforms. So, yeah, and I know Booker T's promotion is tied with it. I know Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory is a part of it. Rikishi in the Samoan Dynasty School out in California is tied to it. Seth Rollins' Black and Brave, I think his promotion out in Iowa is called. They're tied to it. So they have like about 5 or 6 in total right now. But I'm sure that'll kind of expand, and other schools will get that designation too. But it seems like a pretty good thing to kind of get people, invested into how the WE process works with, the style and all that stuff. But maybe too, I was thinking it'll wash away some of like the disreputable schools and people that don't have that kind of qualifications to necessarily be teaching wrestling, even though they do that sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, if WWE continues to do this and partners with and therefore legitimizes certain organizations, it could be like the old territory days, where companies all over the country could be under the umbrella of WWE, and that would leave the others to then be outlaws. That's what used to call the ones that were not part of the big machine. And it could be just like it. That'd be interesting just to see the history go back to where it came from, which happens a lot, in full circle. So I can see it. It looks pretty cool. WWE is on the grow, and you got to have places to put that growing energy. And man, they're just a machine for it. They're always finding new ways to grow and to put their growth into.
Yeah, absolutely. They mentioned the NIL program with the college athletics, and then kind of like spreading their tentacles out to the independent wrestling scene and like making that connection more, and like making sure that they're covering a lot of the bases for like, hey, we are going to grow bigger and more global even than we already are. And it's
you watch fucking next year they'll announce plans for the WWE amusement park.
The amusement park. Or maybe they'll make it something on the moon. We'll land on the moon with WWE. How fantastic would that be? I don't know what I'm saying.
I think if there's ever been a character, there's been Max Moon.
Max Moon. I'm trying. Chris Statlander was an alien for a little bit. I'm trying to think if there's a. I don't know. Alien gimmicks.
No astronaut though, huh?
No astronaut. There should be an astronaut. Maybe I can pitch that to Marcus since he lost his first match. Become an astronaut, Marcus, a wrestler. That'd be. Somebody was telling me, get this, Rob. Somebody was telling me that there's another local wrestler that he's named Bananama, and he dresses up like a big banana and he hands out bananas. He's really weird. Nobody wants to work with him, apparently.
I don't know, man. Sounds Sounds like someone that could slip out of your grip.
Oh boy, heyo.
There is like a whole, I don't, fetish isn't the right thing, but like a whole thing of, wrestlers like wearing like big stuffed animal outfits, like the big panda bear and all that. Like, I think maybe it's mostly Japan, but whenever I've seen it, it's always like, it just looks so bizarre to me, but just like anything else, it seems to have a following.
It does. Yeah, the furries and all that stuff. Pittsburgh has we're known for the big furry convention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is right up your alley.
Right. You should see, I have a fucking dress up like a fox and I walk around. Walk around Pittsburgh like that. It's a little jarring to see big stuffed animals walking around. It throws me off a little bit. We have some super chats. Got to give some shout outs here. Let's see. Patrick just gave us $5. Thanks, man. Thanks for the $5. Appreciate it.
RVD.
Our usual too, Jim D gives us $10. Just gives us $10. Thanks, Jim. Man. And then we have a super chat with a question. Ooh. Big Rock with $10. He says, "What's up, Rob and Dom? I was watching some old SmackDown from 2004 and got upset when I saw RVD lose to the Bashams. Any memories of going from Raw to SmackDown? Were there different vibes compared to Raw than on SmackDown?"
I don't remember like when I was on going from which show to which show. I just remember the change would be inconvenient, especially if you're riding with somebody and then you're on two different shows. Now you gotta find your own ride, which is probably why I started riding by myself, because Booker T and I used to. I don't know if we got split up.
I think you were on Raw together.
He goes on Raw and he was on SmackDown, maybe, or
yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, I just remember that, like it wasn't a huge deal to me, but we kind of knew that SmackDown was kind of like the B show and Raw was the A show, where the bigger stars were going to be, Hunter and I think Taker was always on Raw.
Taker, he was, I think starting off, maybe he went to SmackDown eventually and he became one of the big guys because Teddy Longo would always be like, "You're going one-on-one with The Undertaker, playa." I remember that.
Yeah. Anyway, we looked at it that way, like the Raw was going to be better conditions, a little bit. And I don't really remember, I don't really remember caring that much, except, like I said, it could inconvenience you. It's like, if you have to move when you're a little kid and you got to go to another school and make new friends again, kind of. But at the same time, we're grown ups and it's business and we're not really there to make friends, but it is like that to an extent. You go somewhere else and then you see who the cliques are, and they got their own inside jokes or whatever. And they have their own feelings about the show too that you don't even know until you're there. Mm-hmm. I remember Brock was the SmackDown guy for a lot of the time period. I remember when Paul was there. Paul was running SmackDown. When I hadn't met Brock yet, I remember that Brock was the guy that was dominating the SmackDown. I guess he had the Universal belt, and it just I just remember like, why is everyone talking so much about that guy? Like, didn't he just come from Ohio Valley? He even paid his dues yet, and then I had to wrestle him at that. I want to say Fatal 4-Way. It's not that, but it has. I think.
I'm looking.
I wrestled Jericho, and then I wrestled Brock in this tournament.
Was that for the title? The one? No, hold on. I'm thinking here. 4-Way. Let's see if it pops up.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, though, and then I got to wrestle with him and then really watch him afterwards, and I quickly became a big fan of his abilities. But that's about it, as far as memories of being drafted. I feel like I was on Raw mostly, but I know I was on SmackDown for part of the time, and it seems like I always did both shows anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, so I'm looking on Reddit here, Rob. It's kind of neat. I posted some highlights of a match you had with Brock in 2002.
Insurrection?
Maybe. Hold on. Oh, King of the Ring.
What?
I think that I see some There's several highlights actually.
King of the Ring? Yeah, I think that was
King of the Ring.
I think that's what was trying to develop in my head.
Oh, I bet you that was it then. Yeah, King of the Ring because of the tournament and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But somebody said this in the comments I'm looking. So somebody said, I was very surprised to see RVD getting a shout out in Lesnar's book. And so I guess what Lesnar said about you said, I liked working with RVD. He never complained and neither did I.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Good to know, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex, guys. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get the extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you receive prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in the line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code RVD at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code RVD to receive your first month free. Visit Blue Chew for more details and important safety information. And we, RVD and I, thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
So Seth, our music man himself, he gives a little super chat. Thanks for the $20, Seth. You're the man. He says, "Hey, it's RVD on NXT. Two of my favorite things. Did you have any notable interactions with talent or watch any matches? Have you seen Stephanie Vacour? She seems legit. She works realistic and does creative stuff. She is pretty good, Seth. I'll agree with that. Yeah, did you catch any matches or any interact with any of the youngsters there, I guess?
I saw some of the matches, but I don't necessarily know all the names.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure who all I was watching, but definitely some talented wrestlers. I watched the whole show. I think I watched the whole show that I was on to try to prepare, for next week so that I know everybody a little bit better and have a better idea of what the whole thing is leading into going to the ECW arena, you know. But I met everybody. Everyone was super cool. But, you know, they all come up and introduce, hi, I'm Veronica. Hi, you know, good to meet you. You know, what was her name? I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough when you meet that many people. It's tough. Yeah. Did you get to meet Kalani Jordan though? Who's who's been patterned herself a lot?
I met her a long time ago.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, we've run into each other a few times. So yeah,
cool.
she's a sweetheart.
That's awesome.
I met her at the House of Blues. I think it was WrestleMania week.
Oh,
when,
nice.
You know, when they do the Wally Mania.
Wally Mania. I love Wally Mania. I was there once when it was in New York City, and I got a bro hug from oh my God, the rapper. Why am I blanking on his name? West Side Gun. He gave me a bro hug, and I was like, "What's up, West Side?" And I felt in. I felt
Yeah, Katie loves Wally Mania. She looks forward to it every year. Wally Mania. I say Wally and it's Wally. I say it wrong. She always corrects me. But
Wally Mania, that was Christmas Vacation. So, cool. Let's see. Well, we'll wrap up here pretty quick because we have a busy week. But let's see. The other thing I wanted to touch upon. Oh, this is something I thought would be pretty cool to get your perspective on. So, Adam Cole, a couple weeks ago, made some comments regarding how he's been criticized for his body type and stuff like that.
For a spot?
Say what?
He's been criticized for a spot, you say?
Oh, no, for his body.
Oh.
So like, somebody asked him about like him kind of getting like body shamed online and stuff like that. And I thought he gave a really good response. I'll read it here. But then Cody Rhodes was asked about this too. So I'll read both these quotes, and then I wanted your perspective on it too.
Okay.
So, Adam Cole on body shaming. So he said, people allowed to say what they want to say. Does it feel good? Not at all. It definitely doesn't. At the same time, if I'm someone who wants to be in the entertainment business and in the public eye, I know it's something I have to expect to deal with in a lot of ways. And then he also said, I know everyone handles it differently. For me, I've gotten to the point where I kind of ignore it or block it out as best as I can. I'm focused on making me the best version of me. I try not to get too discouraged with what social media can say. And then Cody Rhodes was on a different podcast and was asked about this. I don't know if he was asked necessarily about Adam Cole, but about the aspect of body shaming. And so he says this is a vanity business. If you're trying to be on the come up, you've got to get in the best shape of your career. The guy I'm getting ready to wrestle at Crown Jewel is named Gunther. He used to be on the independent team named Walter, and Walter was very, very, I don't want to say overweight, but he was not a muscle you could see. There was not a muscle you could see on him. A big, hefty, chop a tree down killer dude. The manifestation of his goals is right there in his physique. You can see he's gotten the best shape of his career. He looks incredible. He looks the part. And then he says, and then there's this weird online contingent that doesn't realize how important that is. We are wrestling with our shirts off, folks. You are standing next to some of the best athletes in the world. It's okay to go to the gym. We have what we call effort shamers, and then you'll hear fans say, you can't body shame wrestlers. What are you talking about? We're standing there half naked, and you paid hundreds of dollars to see us. You can body shame me all you want. And so, Rob, I wanted your perspective on this. I remember when you made your debut on AEW, you were like saying like how people were thinking that you were like out of shape and all that stuff because of like the shirt you were wearing or didn't fit well or something like that. And then you like proved them all wrong and everything like that. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I thought it was a pretty interesting comments from both those guys. And I imagine that you have a pretty good perspective on that.
Well, I mean, it seems like standards are changing, you know, so the world is always changing so quick. But when I watched wrestling and there was a Natural Butch Reed and Billy Graham and Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude and Hulk Hogan and Sid Vicious, and there was just so many like big jacked up guys, you know, Lex Luger. The whole average weight of the wrestler back then was higher. You know, like when wrestlers looked a certain way. Like when the wrestlers were at the bar, they were the big dudes that you don't want to mess with. And that's how they used to sell tickets, by being freaks and standing out. And now a lot of the wrestlers look like regular people when their clothes are on. They could be on the bus, a city bus, with a hat and jacket on and look just like everybody else. And part of that is because the style has changed so much. I helped bridge that gap with the physical style, and 400-pound guys aren't going to be able to do all the same moves. And if they can, who's going to want to lay there for your 450 off the top rope? Fuck that. But because it's so much more athletic now, you have to be in such a better condition. You also have to be smaller than you used to. The 260 plus guys are they're going to have to be in shape, but sometimes in the sport of fighting in general, you got some guys that look like they're out of shape, but they're obviously not. Maybe Kevin Owens falls into that. And then, how about, when it comes to UFC, how about Roy Nelson, country boy Roy Nelson?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy looks like he would be out of shape, but you can't throw your hands for that many minutes when you're dancing around like that and not have a heart attack and be in crappy shape. You can't. You have to be in amazing shape to do what any of the guys are doing in the ring. And so some of the guys will look different. They shouldn't all look like bodybuilders. There should be guys that look like sumo wrestlers, whatever. So my opinion is it's more in the conditioning than the bodybuilding. And that's how I feel about that. I think although the average weight now is, I don't know, 80 pounds less than it was maybe 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that still isn't enough time for people to adjust. So if you're a small dude and you tell people you're a pro wrestler, I think you should expect people to be like, you? I could take you, because that's what goes through their mind.
Yeah.
And if you're real little, they should expect that. And if you're in the entertainment business, you do got to have thick skin, and you got to know enough about yourself to not let people start to question your own self-reflection, because that's what's important. But so size is still something in the whole fighting game overall. Even if it was UFC, if there's like a little say 110-pound dude, and someone says, "See that little guy right there? That guy's from Zimbabwe, and he's the super lightweight world champion, man. That dude could take on anybody in this bar." And you look at him, he's 110 pounds, and you're like, what? Dude, come on, I could take this guy. Like your ego is going to tell you that based on size. That's one of the factors from primal instinct. That's one of the first things, that's why animals like, throw out their whatever they can to look bigger, like the raptors. And even my dogs, they get like when they bark and they're barking at something, the hair on their back stands up. And like that's supposed to make them look more intimidating because they're bigger, I guess. But that's all part of nature, though. And so they should expect it, and they should just keep on trying to be so damn good that they're proving them wrong.
Yeah, I like that, Rob. I like that. Yeah. And like you hear too, it's like there's so many different body types when it was back, like even in those days. But there was that convention of, hey, you have, your Rick Rudes or your Warriors and all that stuff. But then you had guys like that could really go still in the ring, like a Dusty Rhodes or a Buddy Rose or Jerry Blackwell. Those are like bigger dudes that were all like that and had their own. But to what you were saying, like you have to have that conditioning and all that stuff that really
right. Sometimes they look like they're not in shape, but you could not last that long. Trust me, it's hard to breathe when you're in the ring, especially if you got somebody laying on top of you, and then you're pushing and pulling them around. Man, it doesn't. Now you start hitting the ropes. It doesn't take long at all till you're breathing in and out pretty heavy, and man, if you weren't in excellent shape, you wouldn't last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Marcus's matches went like 6 minutes, he said, and he was like, I was starting to get there at the end of it. He said he was feeling it. He was feeling it pretty good even at the end of that. So Frankie Terrizzo with the $5. Thank you, Frankie. He says, have you gotten much heat over your career for making other guys look limited? I think it's awesome, by the way. Oh, he says, I think it's awesome. By the way, I had RVD ponytail in thick stubble for years. So he was representing. Yeah, did you get flack for like making, I don't know, that aspect of it all? Do you remember?
I don't think specifically anybody was mad or feeling that they looked limited next to me and my capabilities. I mean, that right there is the story usually of the match. The heel's chasing the baby face, can't catch him because the guy's got all these cool tumbles and flips and is bouncing all over the place and making the heel look like a fool. That would be not a problem. That would be something that would make story easy. But man, I have a lot of people that want to do my moves when they're working with me, and they say that because they do the moves when I'm not there. That's why. It's not because it makes sense because they're working against me, but or maybe every time they do it, it's everyone knows they're doing my move, and so it makes sense. I don't know, but I have had people when I was starting out, when I was like really young in the early 90s, I had a few wrestlers try to limit the moves that I gave because they believed that it would mean more.
Oh.
And one of those was Rip Rogers, and one of those guys was Ricky Nelson from South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. And both of those guys told me the same thing. I was super young, 22 years old. Said, man, if you doing all those flips and kicks and stuff through the whole match, it don't mean nothing. What you do is just save it till the very end, and then you do one kick, and then bam, see, now it means something. Now it's special. And man, I just disagreed so much with those guys. I'm like, so the rest of the match, the other 99% of the match, I should be just like everybody else, and you should be able to call the match for us when you don't even know my moves, like, because the heels could do that. Arm drag, grab an arm. But if you're just filling a spot, just filling a blank, you know what I mean? Like that, if you're that expendable and you're just another flesh bag of bones there, and you can swap out and anybody can have the exact same match. But I didn't want to be one of those guys.
Yeah. And like, I think the neat thing is like, hey, and people are already doing it today still, is like, oh, I'd love to see this guy go up against RVD. The style of RVD brings the different element to pro. You still wrestle, you're still a wrestler, but it's like he's changed the game in so many different ways where it's just like, how would this guy go against it? And so like, even you talking about going up against Brock Lesnar and how different that was, it's just like, that's what makes wrestling cool, is that kind of aspect of it. So, absolutely. So cool. Rob, is there anything else that you wanted to cover before we kind of wrap things?
No, I don't think so. A bit on the tired side tonight.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
I've been running on 5 hours of sleep, I think. So last night, and then I work at 6 a.m. tomorrow, so that's always fun.
I've been waking up in the middle of the night and then to work out, and then I stay awake for anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, and then go back and get the second half of my night in. And after so many days, that takes its limits. Like I switch it up. Tonight I'm going to sleep all the way through. That means I got to work out before I go to bed. But I get up at 3 or 4 a lot of times, and then go back to bed at 7, 8.
So you work out at 3 or 4 in the morning, and then you go like,
yeah, I get up and usually smoke a doobie and stretch out, and usually kill an hour, eat a little something. But yeah, work out like an hour after I get up, and then sometimes that's an hour and a half, sometimes 2 if I'm stretching a lot too. And then I don't know, sometimes I'll end up killing like a big window period where I'll be up, but it's usually because like my pre-workout will have me motivated, and I'll be like, oh, that's right, I got a couple of cameos I got to do too, and then
you'll knock those out too.
Yeah, and then I got to knock those out, and then it's like, well, let me look in the office real quick and see. I'll just pull out the papers that I need when I get up later, and so I do that too. Yeah, I do that.
Do you find working out like that, like really early in the morning, do you find that to be helpful in a lot of ways too, or is it
in a lot of ways? But usually it's just punishment for me because I didn't get it in earlier.
Yeah, it's just like,
that's I never learn. I always think that's gonna keep me on my game, but I'm not. Sometimes I wake up and I'm still tired, but I'll drink pre-workout, smoke a doobie, sometimes take some kratom or whatever, and then man, by the end of the doobie, usually my mood has changed so much. Usually I'm like, because I get out of bed and I'm like, I got to make this workout short so I can get right back to sleep. And then by the time I'm done with my pre-workout and my doobie and I'm ready to go work out, all of a sudden it's like, there's no time more important than right now. No matter how long this workout takes, this is what I got to do. I'm up right now while people are sleeping. I'm going out there to get results. And I just totally changed my mind and I get into it.
Yeah, dude, it helps too. Like, that's the thing too, is like when I'd go to the gym, I'd be like, dude, nobody's working out right now in the morning. I'm like, I'm doing it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty neat. Seth chimes in. He says, P.S. I got a brutal cold for the first time in years. Oh man, Seth.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that, dude.
You hear that, dude? Yeah, definitely, man. Drink a lot of emergency. Jim D.
Yeah, or just zinc and vitamin C, which is what that shit's made out of.
Oh, what it is?
Yeah.
Or zinc and vitamin C. Jim D does give us another $10 and asks this question: at their peak, who had the bigger gas tank, cardio-wise, Sting or John Cena?
Oh man, I wouldn't know the answer to that. I actually forgot that I worked Sting for a minute there, and I had to remember. I guess I did a couple times in TNA, and neither one of those guys was gassed, and neither was I in our matches. So how do you know?
Yeah.
Unless you really are with somebody and you're both really being put to the test, and you can feel that energy together. Otherwise, or you're just with somebody that's blowed up and useless the whole time. One or the other. Otherwise, how would you know? If you're 2 or more great athletes, and you're in the ring and you feel great all the way through, and you still feel good afterwards when you leave, and you're not hurt, you're not injured. Usually you're pretty happy. So I don't know how you would judge, something like that with the cardio. I do not know.
Dude, yeah, that would be a tough thing to gauge, I think, if you get to that point. I think it was Steve Austin who took a lot of pride in having like a big gas tank, and I think he would try to push people to their limits in their matches or something. That was like almost like a game he would play with the guys going in. I think Kurt Angle told that story or something. I can't remember, but it is fun.
Well, I mean, I'm always showing off, doing, like little jumping jacks and stuff. And, but I pace myself through the match. But if I wrestle once and then 6 months I don't wrestle, then I wrestle again, I'm not going to be in my best wrestling condition, even if I've been doing a lot of cardio, But there's sometimes, even when I had great cardio, sometimes, just like Seth, sometimes show up to work and your sinuses are stuffed up and you can't breathe right. Uh-oh. How am I going to get in the ring and wrestle? And I can't breathe right. Like I'm all stuffed up through my nose and fucking, and then, sometimes that happens. And sometimes you might be jet lagged too, just from, like your jet lag. Sometimes your body just feels like your soul just like leaked right out and just left your skin outfit there. Sometimes that's what jet lag feels like. Sometimes it's just when if I'm gone for a while and then come back, like international or something that bad, like the really, really bad jet lag. Oh my God. I remember realizing that could affect my cardio in the ring too. And so I was ultra aware of it, because one time I was just laying on the mat in Japan and I, oh God, it sucks. That's the worst thing, being blowed up when you feel like you can't even move at full speed, and you can't, and you feel like so vulnerable, like, oh my God, somebody could just sit on me and I would die right now. It's the opposite of feeling tough, It's worse, vulnerable. I hate it. But some guys would, used to, would get blowed up and kind of stay blowed up their whole match. And some guys, it's amazing they haven't had heart attacks, but with the style that it is now too, though, everyone's got to be in pretty damn good shape.
Dang good shape, that's for sure. Hooey, USA. All right, guys. While we have over 5,500 people here, well, I'll plug Only Wrestlers again. Go to onlywrestlers.com, sign up, get on in the early front there, and you can subscribe to Rob's channel for free. You can subscribe to Katie's channel for free, and then the Only Wrestlers account for free too. So check it out. I'll be starting some content on there too at some point here in the near future, and there's plenty of other wrestlers that you can check out on there too. And get the word out about stuff. There's so much different opportunity going on at onlywrestlers.com. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to rate us on podcasts, whether it's Spotify or Apple. You can go on there, give us 5 stars, like a 5-star frog splash, and you can help out the show. In turn, too, you can get some RV. Well, look at that. Oh, my God. Your letter openers.
I was opening up this box while we were talking. Oh, of course, it's wrapped in plastic. It's from Greek glass.
Is it Greek glass?
Yeah.
Oh, man. New stuff.
I should have known it was going to be plastic. Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. Okay.
RVD.
It ends up being this guy.
Ooh, let's take a look.
Hey, RVD.
Hey, oh, that's cool.
Yes. Let's see. We would put water in this. I'm actually not even sure. I'm not sure how to use this.
Ooh. We'll have to get some intel on it.
Oh, it's cool. It's got like
Looks
a
awesome.
it's got a little thing in the middle of it. It definitely looks like it wants to hold water, but there's nothing to pack or light.
Is it like an attachment of some sort?
I believe so. I just don't know where it would attach. I don't know. But I'll find out. But anyway, thanks, Great Glass.
Yeah, go to RVD420.com. Let me make sure that works. All right. Yes, RVD420.com. You can check out all the different stuff they got.
Hello?
Wow, they got a lot of cool stuff on there that you can check out. There's like I see it right here, Rob. It's a Puffco scallop attachment.
A Puffco scallop attachment?
Scallop attachment. A 2-hole diffuser. Oh, wow. They have the artist on here and stuff, too. And yeah.
There's only one hole, though, right?
It says a 2-hole diffuser. I don't know, though. The one at the top I see, I can't. They don't show the bottom of it on that one. We'll have to get more intel from.
Yeah, this is solid here.
It's solid down below. Oh, is it? Okay. So, but it said they say a 2-hole diffuser. So interesting. That looks sweet, though. It looks like you could put a tiny ship in there, like you know how they do the little.
It looks like it would hold smoke, but then,
yeah.
But how do you get the smoke in there unless it's like a secondary outlet for the smoke passage after it hits the normal chambers? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Dang it. We'll figure it out, guys. But go to RVD420.com.
That's the risk of live TV. Sometimes you think you're going to open Al Capone's vault, and sometimes you're not as excited with the results.
That's it. Sometimes it happens.
Not that wasn't exciting. I just don't know what it is.
I thought it was pretty exciting. I liked looking at that stuff.
And I like showing this off. My letter opener.
It's like the most intense letter opener I've ever seen.
So yeah, dude. See y'all in Philly.
See you guys in Philly. Yes, go to RVD's YouTube channel, subscribe there. But yeah, check out onlywrestlers.com. Check out 1tsport.com for that merch you see up there. You can scan that QR code, get some RVD merch, get some Sabu merch. There's a lot of different guys on there that you can check out. Have a good time with representing. So there we go. Oh yeah, check out my daily show, Rumor and Innuendo. I always forget to plug that. Monday through Friday at noon.
Is there some Magnum TA merch?
Yeah, there is Magnum TA merch and Greg Gagne merch too. So yeah, we got Fonzie merch. Oh, by the way, Fonzie, me and Fonzie will be live tomorrow. I believe at 8:30 is the time tomorrow.
Whoa!
And we'll be back. Fonzie will be back after all the hurricane stuff. So it'll be good to have him back in the mix again, too. So, heck yeah. So it should be a fun week. Rob, looking forward to seeing you in Philly. And everybody tune in. And we'll see you next time here on One of a Kind with that guy over there, RVD. All right, guys.
Thanks, Van Dam fam.
See you guys.
Thanks, Don.